What's up, casuals? This is Jhota, and today I want to talk to you guys about a new game called 12 Minutes. For those of you who haven't heard of 12 Minutes before, it is a game developed by Luis Antonio, and it is a time travel mystery game. The basic premise of 12 Minutes is a man stuck in a time loop trying to save his wife from a so-called police officer accusing her of murdering her father 8 years ago. The crazy part is that you, as the man, are the only person who understands that they're stuck in a time loop. And it's up to you as the player to take matters into your own hand and figure out how you can change this very near future. As the name of the game suggests, all the events of this game take place over 12 minutes. When you first start the game, you only experience about half of that time, as the climax of that story, the cop busting through the door, happens pretty early on. Now, I don't want to give away too much in terms of the things that you can do to advance the story, or really even the story itself, because I really think that this is something that everybody should experience. And as a disclaimer, I have not yet finished the game myself. I've played it for about 2.5 hours, and I feel like I've gotten pretty close, but there are definitely a lot of things that you can try in order to get the next event to happen. For people who are much smarter than me, you can probably finish this game within the time that I've already been playing it, but for people around my intelligence level or lower, it may take a little bit of time, but nothing crazy. You're not looking at a 40-hour game here. If you have Game Pass, I would highly recommend downloading this and at least checking it out. Now, with that more general stuff out of the way, I want to get into the details of how the game plays and how it feels to play it. I'm going to start off with the controls of the game. Now, in 12 minutes, this game plays a lot like the point-and-click adventure mystery games of my childhood. You don't necessarily move your character around as sort of like an action figure. You click on things around the environment, and these things you can either pick up, interact with, or ask questions to people even. Think of those point-and-click detective games from back in like the late 90s, early 2000s, if you're old enough to remember those, but on a completely different level. There are certain items that you can use to interact with either other items or the other characters in the game. So far, it's hard to determine which interactions are completely useless, which are just kind of fun, and which actually advance the story. I have tried many different things in this game, and most of them involve me getting punched in the face by a cop and starting over again. Every now and then, though, something will click and you'll find something new to try out, and it'll activate a new sequence in the game that'll give you a little bit more information. And as you get that new information, you might get a new option in your next time loop that can get you even further through the story. Now, like I said, I don't want to get too far into the actual story beats of the game, because I think it's something that you should see for yourself. And hopefully what I'm showing in the gameplay right now doesn't give away too much, but I don't think it does. The moments where you find something new to advance the story is really rewarding. You have sort of a eureka or an aha moment where you try something new and then it works out, and then you get a little piece of information, maybe from your wife, maybe from the cop, maybe even from yourself, that you can then work off of to get even further into the game. The problem is that sometimes these eureka moments can be a little bit far apart. Normally that wouldn't be an issue, but the problem is that when you're stuck in this time loop, you only have a limited amount of time before you are forced to repeat the time loop. So what that means is that if you don't use your time wisely to figure out a new tactic, you might be forced to repeat the same things over again, which means some dialogue you've already heard, or trying something that you've already done and going through those steps before you can even try something new. Now imagine doing this 4, 5, even 10 times before you even get to that new piece of information or new story beat. At this point, that's pretty much the only negative that I could point out about this game. The fact that you can have these low points that drag out for so long might discourage you from even trying to get to that next high point. Now for me, I'm stubborn enough where I want to figure this game out and I want to experience the story, but I think that if it comes to people getting bored, they might just go to YouTube and watch the ending for themselves. Which obviously that would take away from the impact of the story. If you're able to figure out the ending or you're able to trigger the ending yourself, you're going to feel a sense of accomplishment that you wouldn't get if you just looked up the ending on YouTube. And even though I haven't finished the game myself, I would definitely give this a stamp of approval, because I think that if you have Game Pass especially, this is a game that you should just download and at least try out. But with that, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts about 12 minutes. Have any of you played this game already? Or are you interested in playing it, but maybe you're on the fence about it? I'd love to hear all of your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. And as we always say, if you guys aren't subscribed, please do so. It helps us out a lot. Leave a like on this video if you did like it. And I will see you guys in the next one.